welcome to the Larry Kane Show, live and in color from the Channel 13 studios. And now, here's the star of our show, Larry Kane.
How did it all begin?
It seems like another life.
You were one of the people that we carefully studied as we were molding our careers.
That's kind of you. I guess.
What year did it actually start?
58. Right here in these studios.
And what led into it? How did you get involved with the Larry Kane Show?
Actually, at that time, I was in radio with one of the Houston stations, and Mr. Bill Walbridge, who was at that time general manager of Channel 13, decided that it would be a very good idea to perpetuate the popularity of Dick Clark's American Bandstand, which at that time was enjoying such tremendous ratings here in Houston, as well as everywhere else, Monday through Friday. So he decided that a Saturday afternoon show might be a dandy idea. Approached me with it, and I said sure. Hadn't tried it before. Really didn't think it would be a very long-running situation, but I thought it would be a lot of fun to try.
What was Houston like in the late 50s and early 60s? Some of the things you can remember.
As far as the likes and dislikes of the kids, they liked to dance. They liked to go out to particular night spots that were very big here in this area at the time. They liked concerts, but the type of music was vastly different from what it later became, particularly in the latter days of our show, the early 70s. I'd have to say it was more light-hearted, and a lot of fun.
Oh, sweet pea, come on and dance with me. Come on, come on, come on and dance with me. The tears of a cloud when there's no. But that was yesterday, and yesterday's gone. Break me, run it over. Galveston, oh Galveston.
But a lot of them were here to see the rock acts, whoever they may be. They were on hand with the autograph books way back in the early 60s to meet people. I recall we had a taping session with Bobby Sherman. We had more parents here with the autograph books and with the great interest in meeting him personally than we did kids.
What were kids really worried about or thinking about in those days?
The traditional boyfriend-girlfriend problems, who's breaking up and who's now going to start going with whom. They were a lot more interested in that time period in the various acts coming to town and appearing at the Taylor Halls, the Teen Halls, the Catacombs. These were the clubs that were so prevalent in the Houston area at that time.
Larry, we want to continue our conversation about the Larry Kane Show on the music of the early 60s and actually the late 50s. And we want to do that tomorrow on this program. So
Like a monkey, kind of like a twist. Pretend you're in the water and you go like this. Now, baby, swim. Baby, do love swim. It's fine time. Just like the dog, but not so low. Like the hully-gully, but not so slow. Now, baby, swim.
what was the best experience with a national rock group, and what was the
Years, but I guess I'd have to single out the Paul Revere and the Raiders taping, which began at 12 midnight after a concert they had done at the Catacombs here and went most of the night. And they took advantage of every prop in this studio.
Just like me.
And we did probably 6 or 8 songs with them, plus a bunch of interviewing. Cut it up into 3 or 4 different shows. An unforgettable night in every sense of the word. We had the greatest crew, as far as I'm concerned, that a TV show could have, and a series of fine directors who showcased these people the way they like to be showcased. And they couldn't believe it, because only on high-budget network shows did they get this kind of showcasing. But when they came to Houston, they knew they were going to be made to look good.
What's it all about when you start it out?
What type of music did you like personally, and what type didn't you like?
I really liked everything that we played, not on a per-record basis, but I would say 98% of the music that I played, the groups that I had, I liked. Through all of the years until the latter days, the early 70s, the times when we got more away from the ballads and from the bubblegum and the lighter music and started getting terribly, terribly heavy. And by that, I don't mean musicianship, because I always appreciated that, and we had some tremendously talented musical groups on who improvised in their music. But when we had people who came on the show to campaign for a particular cause and wanted to get heavy politically, and we would show up in a bad condition for taping or for a live show, I didn't like this. And the latter couple of years, I really didn't identify so much with most of this music.
So I know a lot of us that came along in radio throughout the 50s and 60s had people like Larry Kane, Dick Clark, many other people for whom we patterned our careers.
Well, thank you, Hank. It makes me feel very good. As a matter of fact, this entire thing makes me feel very good to come back and have the joy, and it really is that, in seeing everybody again and being back here where it got started in '58. So thank you for asking me and including me in this nostalgia.
Thanks for being here.
The smiles returning to the faces.
And what was fun back in those days is a lot of those groups that came through were actually taped right here in this studio, what is now the Good Morning Houston studio. So it used to be a lot of fun back in those days.